So I'd like to introduce the speakers that we have for today. Um, Representing DACdb in this corner, that's a joke. We have Lynn Kelly. Lynn has extensive experience working for major companies. Her career focus was in customer service and learning and knowledge management. Lynn has been with DACdb for 4 years. She's involved in the creation of the grants module that we're going to be looking at today and that we're using for district grants. She's also the lead on RLI registration system and a RILA registration system. Lynn and her team are responsible for the day-to-day inquiries that are delivered via email, phone, or ticket. The team is also managing the help desk or help support section of DACdb, updating information as changes are made. Lynn and her team are always available to set up one-on-one trainings and when necessary, and to hold club trainings, all via Zoom. Lynn's a Rotarian, a Paul Harris Society member, and a major donor. Lynn received Rookie of the Year and Rotarian of the Year honors in her club, and she's the District Executive Secretary for District 7730 and a member of the South Brunswick Islands Rotary Club. Lynn and her husband Jim reside in Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina. Lynn is originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and is a huge Ohio State, Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Indians, and Cleveland Cavalier fan. Michael Soden. Michael joined Rotary in 2003. He's currently a member of the Rotary Club of Green Valley, Henderson, Nevada. He's been club president twice. First time was in Central Virginia in District 7600. The second time was in Green Valley in 2013-14. That's District 5300. Michael's going to be the district governor there in 2023-24. He currently serves as a district communication officer for District 7600 and District 5300, and is the District 5300 Grants Chair. He's also serving on the Southwest Pets Committee as a committee chair for the website. Additionally, Michael is a Paul Harris Fellow +8. Michael is owner and founder of the HARCAF agency. It's been a web development firm since 2001. And he's also a contractor with DACdb. Michael has developed and managed DACdb's WordPress program, creates sales and marketing collateral for the company, does DACdb training, and assists in developing the grants, RILA, and PETS modules. He lives with his wife, Sylvia, in Henderson, Nevada, has 1 daughter and 2 grandsons. So we want to welcome them. And in the other corner, we have our district team, which is our district grants chair, Kathy Poole, grants subcommittee chair, Leanne Mobley, stewardship chair, Hal Kibbe, and me, Tim Mobley. So I'd like to take a few minutes, kind of set the stage before I turn it over to Michael and Lynn. You know, we started this new grant module model about 7 years ago. Since that time, we've worked diligently to make district grants, the whole process, as easy and painless as possible. The one thing we have not done, as we've struggled a bit in this process, is we have not done a formal training. And it was like, it struck me, why haven't we done a formal training? This is an important process, and our club members who write these grants should be better informed. So that's what we're doing today. You know, when the whole process started through Eric Hodnett and District Grants Chair Julie DeCuro and now Kathy Poole, they have spent literally hundreds of hours, hundreds of hours, reviewing grants and grant reports. In carrying out their role, they call and send emails back and forth to clubs, clarifying applications and reports. These emails and phone calls eat up huge amounts of time, not only for the grants chair, but for the club members who are writing it. And it leads to some frustration that I don't believe is necessary if we can work smarter and not harder. Now, with 7 years of experience, we can see that mistakes have been made on both the club and the district side, and not only the grants that have been grant applications, but also in approving some of them and some of the final reports. You know, district grants have a huge impact on our communities. There are some communities that really rely on the Rotary clubs for so many things, and district grants is part of that. And so we want to make sure that the process works, not only for our Rotary clubs in our communities, but also for the people that have to manage them on the district side. We believe that the changes that we're going to suggest today require less time overall for both the club and the district to complete applications and final reports. A well-written application and final report will be beneficial to all concerned. We have asked our district grants chairs to read and approve applications and final reports for approximately 60 to 65 clubs each year. If you've written a grant and a final report for a district grant, you know about how long it takes. Can you imagine doing that for 65, including all the correspondence that it takes to get the whole thing completed? It is our goal not only to improve the process, but to build a strong cadre of club grant writers and also develop a cadre at the district level to help with the stewardship and the writing and the reading and the approving of the grants. After today's seminar, if you're interested in joining the district cadre, we'd love to hear from you. You can call, write, email, or leave your name in the chat box. You know, I've heard comments that the district grant writing process feels like a global grant. If you've written a global grant, and I know some of you on this have, it's nothing like writing a global grant in reality. I believe that it's critical for Rotarians to take the stewardship of our DDF seriously, and that's what this whole process is about. You know, the Rotary Foundation, who sends us our DDF, is a foundation and it has to follow certain rules. And that's why we have those rules. And some clubs have foundations, and so you have to follow the rules of those foundations as well. The Rotary Foundation has 500 and some districts around the world. And within those districts, all those clubs are writing district grants. And so tracking and following the process is of critical importance. And people say, I've heard people say, you know, a district grant is only $2,000 of DDF or only $4,000. That's not much. Why do we have to put in so much effort into this? Well, from my perspective and my perspective only, Leanne and I each support the Rotary Foundation with $1,000 a year. And to me, that's a lot of money. And I want to make sure that that money is spent appropriately and is managed appropriately. It's not a small amount to me because we donate to make a difference in the world. We want to make sure that those dollars are going that way. And to that end, I am so excited today to have Lynn and Michael with us and Hal and Kathy to share our vision for what will make this whole process easier, smoother, and better for us all concerned. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lynn and Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
So let me share my screen here. Okay, so most of you are familiar with DACdb and how to get in it. When you first obviously log in, you come to your home screen. I did talk to your district team about some of the rules, and what they told me was the person who is certified, who's taken the grants training, they're going to be the one in the club that is going to actually create the grant. So we are just taking over Tim's club here, Bear Creek Valley, and I asked them to give me a couple names that we can impersonate today. So Kurt is going to be the person that has taken the training, and he is going to be creating the grant. So he's logged into DACdb. So now he's going to come over to his My Club tab, and he is going to find his grants icon, and he will click that on. Now you notice when he first clicks it on, he is in year 2019-20. Well, we're talking about 21-22. So the very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to change that org year. And there is a button on the top right to do that. And when this little box pops up, you just select the correct year. And then to make it easy, you can save this as your working year. So now when I'm actually in the grants and I can check the year is correct, you can see here that your district team has put in some important information. You should take a little bit of time to go over it, but these are key dates that you have to meet. Also, they have put all the documents that you have to complete right here with links. So when you click these on, it'll take you to the MOU, your financial management plan, the expense spreadsheet that you're used to completing, everything that you need that you probably will be receiving via P-mail. It's all here in case you can't find it. So the first thing Kurt is going to do is on the left-hand side, he's going to click on Club Grants View. Now your district team is going to populate the signatures, and we understand you need one signature on your grant, and it's going to be the president-elect. So if for some reason the president-elect gets in there and he can't sign anything, you can go ahead and click this admin tab on. Oh, maybe not, because he cannot do that because of his level. Anyway, the president-elect will be able to click this admin tab on, and there will be a club signature there where he can add his name to that list, but that's going to be pre-populated for you. So you see there is a grant in here, and this is already an approved grant. You can always tell the status because they will be separated by the type of grant. So we're going to get back to this one when it's time to show you how to complete the final report. But we're going to create the new grant. So there'll be a button up here. I'm going to click that button on, and we're going to just put a name in here. I'm going to call this one. Now, we also understand you may be eligible to put 2 grants in. So your highest priority grant, you're going to click this little button and you're going to select high. If you're going to put another grant in, then that grant will be medium. You will put like the city and state where it's going to take place. I'm just going to put anything in here right now because this will be different for everybody. And the country is US. And I am just going to, I'm going to put a target completion date in. I'm going to put it out here a little bit. August 1st. And then here are the areas of focus. Some districts use this, others don't. Totally up to you. I'm just going to say other, and I'm going to say NA. Now this project description box, in this box, you want to put a very brief description of what you are going to be doing. Not all of the details of how you're going to execute it, why it's important, just a couple sentences here. So, couple sentences.
Well, while Lynn is doing that, the key thing here is the district grants chair, we have to take this information and put it into our actual grant into Rotary International. And they only allow characters. So it's great you want to write a Bible, but the reality is we have to basically go in there and massage it to make sure that it fits within that 400 character deal.
Right. And then we will give you the opportunity to write the Bible on the application. So, but right here, just a few sentences, that's all that's needed there. So if there are other clubs involved and you are the lead club, this is where you will add those other clubs. And all you do is select them from this list. And then for the contacts, of course, it's that person who is certified and the president-elect. In this case, I'm going to select Shane Mustard.
Lynn, on the clubs involved, do they all have to sign the grant?
I'm going to have to look at the district access. I think only the person, the original person, the lead club needs to sign. And
Okay.
Tim or Kathy or Hal, you can correct me on that.
We ask each president to sign.
Okay, so each club will
Okay.
have one
We be
signature.
president-elect.
President-elect would
So
sign.
every club has to sign it. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
one signature, and it has to be the PE. And as I said before, the district team will populate that signature list. And then here's the application. So again, you can go out and put this information, whatever the dates might be. Here, this is where the check is going to be sent to. This should probably be your club and then the treasurer and whatever your address is. I'm not going to take time to fill all that in. Now, here is where you have the opportunity to elaborate on that project, and your district team is going to want you to elaborate. And this is where you'll get into the nuts and bolts of what you're going to do. I'll just put a few things here. Then the humanitarian efforts. How is this going to benefit the community? Again, you're free. There's no limitation onto how many characters. Then your active Rotarian involvement. How are the Rotarians in your club going to be participating? And then, of course, your publicity plan. Newspapers, social media, whatever you're going to do. Whenever you see red on here, please read that, because your district team has put some additional instructions for you. So here's a little note about cooperating organizations, and the MOU needs to include a list of them if you have cooperating organizations. So make sure you read everything in red. I'll just put a couple X's in here. And then you're going to click on the little boxes that you agree. And here is the person who is writing the grant will put their name in here. And then one more box to say yes. I'm going to scroll up to the top. Now you see there's just 4 tabs here right now. I'm going to click the save. And now you see we have 2 additional tabs. So now you're going to go to your budget tab.
Lynn, can
Yes.
what happens if you don't click the save and you leave the module?
If you don't click
Thank
the
you.
save and leave the module,
dumped.
it's dumped.
Yeah.
It's dumped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So please be sure to at least save it,
Yeah.
some portion, as you're working on it.
Every page.
Yes. All right. So the budget is pretty simple, because that's what this is the budget. So the first thing you're going to do is click on Add Income Source. Okay. And sometimes we slow down when we're on Zoom. Come on. All right.
There
we
we go.
go. Let me do it again. There we go. So the first thing I'm going to put in here is our DDF request. I'm going to say this club is going to make that 1,000. And then I'm going to make sure I select DDF request. I'm going to click add. And then my additional income is going to come right from my club. And that's going to be $1,000. And in this case, that's going to be other club funding. And I'm going to click add. I've noticed when you're doing a Zoom, it really slows everything down. So there we are. Okay, now we have $2,000 in income. If you look down on the budget summary, you'll see that we're out of balance here because we have no expenses in there. So now you're going to put your estimated expenses. I'm just going to put something like dictionary purchase. And I'm just going to put 2,000 here. And I'm going to click on add. So now you can see my budget balances. I have my estimated expenses in there. And so now I am ready to turn this over to our president-elect to sign it. Now, there's also your documents tab here. Now you can put some backup documents in here if you have them. And this is pretty easy to do. Notice down here, it's automatically saved your grant application. So that's already saved if you have to go back and refer to it. But all you have to do is either add a folder, or you can actually go into the documents folder and you can upload a file here. Or you can simply just upload a file and they'll all be down here. It's totally up to you. These are examples, these folders here. So wherever you want to put them, you can do that.
Lynn,
So, yes.
we have some specific locations we'd like people to put things, and we'll talk
Okay.
about that later.
All righty. So whatever your district team directs you to do, that's what you're going to do. All right. So now, just for safety's sake, I'm going to save it. Okay. So now I've saved it, and I am ready to turn it over to the president-elect and have him sign it. So I'm going to click this little button that says Club Collect Grant Signatures. And it tells you, okay, this is going to start the signature process. Are you sure you want to go ahead? And so I'm going to say, yes, I'm ready. All right, so now when that is saved, notice that there are two new tabs. The activity log, if we click that on, it will summarize everything we've done so far and the time and day we did that. So you can follow this. And now you notice up here, an email was generated. So there's automated emails based on every status that the grant changes to that will go out, and it'll tell you who it went to. The second tab is the signature log. So we can see that Kurt submitted it for the grant club approval. Up here, it shows you that you need one lead club signature. And if you did have other clubs, it would say you would need one for each of those clubs. But in this case, you only need one total signature because there aren't any other clubs involved. So you can't do this, but I can do this for demonstration purposes. But now I'm going to switch over to the president-elect. So now the president-elect comes along. He's ready. He's worked on this with Kurt, and Shane is ready to sign it. So now he sees a button up on the top when he clicks the pencil to come into the grant. He'll see this button up on the top that says Club Sign Grant Application. So he's going to click that on. A box pops up. He's going to click on Sign the Grant. And now it's giving him a message. It's asking him, all required signatures have been applied. If you are ready to submit this grant for district approval, click yes below. But please be sure that the grant budget is complete and that the grant application has been completely filled out. And then if you think, oh, I really want to go back and check, you can click the no and make sure and review those areas. But if you're happy with everything, you're going to click this yes, submit grant for district approval. So now you do have another choice. If you think, oh, we should have asked for 1,500, not 1,000, Right here, you can go back and revert it back to a draft and change those things and start again. Otherwise, this grant now has been sent to the district for approval. So if I were to go over to the club grants view now you notice there are two grants. One is in the status of district review and approval. The other is the approved grant that we're going to work on for our final report. I'm going to just click the pencil in front of our test grant. And one thing I want to show you here is on the budget. Notice there's no pencil or X next to this DDF amount. Once you submit it to the district, you cannot go in and change that request. If you made some type of error, reach out to Kathy or Hal immediately. They can help you with that, get that changed if it has to be changed, or you can simply revert it back to a draft and start again. But I want to point out that's not available. You can change your expenses if that has to be changed, or maybe you had to increase your club portion for some reason. You can make those changes, but you won't be able to change the DDF. Okay, so now let's go back and let's just talk about the final report. So now I'm going to go over to the club grants view. And here is our approved grant. Let me switch back to let's see here. I think I should still be Kurt now. Okay, so now Kurt's going to come in here and he's going to start working on the final report. So you are going to click the final report. And notice that some of the information we filled out at the beginning is here. So right after the populated text, just put your cursor at the end there. And then there's some additional information in red, so be sure to read this. So when did the project begin and when was it completed? What was done and where did the project activities take place? So your district team wants you to add that information here. This is self-explanatory, how many people benefited from this project. And that's not an exact science. You know, if you think about 1,000 people are going to benefit, put that number in there. The next one is, after this paragraph, describe who the beneficiaries were and how they were impacted by this project. So make sure you add that information there. I'm just going to put some numbers in here. How many Rotarians participated in the project? Again, just insert some text here. And on number 6, you'll also insert some text. And that's all you're going to have to do. And then Kurt is going to save that final report. And then it tells you that the final report is saved. You're going to say, okay. You go over to the document section. You will notice that the final report there is saved in a PDF now. Now I'm going to go back to the president-elect here. And now he's going to come in. He's going to just take a look at the final report to see what Kurt added, make sure he agrees with everything. And now he's going to click this button on, collect final signatures. As you can see, that button now changed to sign. He's going to sign it. And now again, it's going to ask you, is your final report completely filled out? Are all the documents uploaded and complete, and has your budget been updated with actuals? I'm going to say no here because I didn't add my documents. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to say that told me to put my images in the image folder. I'm going to click my upload file. I'm not sure if you can see my pop-ups when we do this.
Yes.
Can you see them, Mike?
Yes, we can. Lynn.
Okay. Let's see, where's that folder I created? Training grants. Okay, so I'm going to put a picture in here. I'm going to upload it. And then I'm going to go over to my documents. And I am going to upload a receipt that I had. So you can see how simple it is. I'm going to give you some tips. Make sure your documents have short names, no special characters. Just short names, no special characters. Okay, so now I am ready to sign it. So I'm going to go back. Oops, sorry. I'm ready to submit it. I'm going to click submit. And now if we go back to club, this one now, it's for district review. So now the district is going to come in here and review this, and then they're going to approve it. I want to go in here and show you what that final report looks like. So I'm going to click the documents. I am going to click on my final report. So this is what your final report looks like. So it's going to capture everything you typed in on that page. In addition, it's going to capture your budget, the budget that you fixed and updated. It's going to capture all of your signatures. And it'll capture, it should have captured all of the pictures here. So why it didn't capture the pictures here, we will have to take a look at and see. But all the pictures should have been there. Okay. So, Tim, we can open it up for some questions now if you like.
Absolutely. So if you type your questions in the chat, Leanne will read those out. And
Tim, while we're waiting for those to come in, I do have a question from John Johnston. He asked, what happens if the project is not completed by the date that was listed on the application?
we're going to get to the answer to that a little bit later. So that will be answered. I would rather not go into
Right.
that at this point.
Yeah, it's not something for us to decide. So
Right.
your team will give you all of those rules.
And then another question from Gary Meyer, that he was having trouble collecting the final signature. So Gary, I ask you, did what Lynn went through help you with that?
I will know when I try it.
So,
enough.
yes, so when the president-elect is added to the signature list and the president-elect actually goes into the grant, so when you're into the Club Grants view and you click on this button, the pencil, up here, there will be sign the grant. So that button will appear there. So it's going to appear there, so you should not have any issues signing it.
Yeah, I'm probably doing the wrong view because I do not get the signature box does not open for me.
Yes, because the team has not put in all the president-elects yet.
Well, he's talking about for a current grant, right, Gary?
For
Oh.
current grant, right.
Oh, yes, okay.
So I
So
will
you
be-
have to be on the signature list to be able to sign that grant if you're the one who's supposed to sign it. So Kathy or Hal will check that to make sure you are.
Right, no, I am on the signature list. I mean, I'll take care of this offline. It's just
Okay,
for whatever reason, the collect final signatures box does not open up. The save final report does, but I cannot get the collect final signatures box. So I think it's doing it because it just knows I love to fill out paperwork.
Your favorite thing.
I have another
Thank you.
question. Thanks, Gary. Lynn, we have a question from Paula Hancock. She said, could you go back over the bank account information again, please?
Oh, you mean for,
On your-
on the application?
On the application.
Yes. Your team told me that the check is normally mailed to the club. So you would put your club name in here. You could put maybe after it, treasurer, so-and-so, if that's what you want on there. And this would be your club's mailing address.
So if I could maybe have Paula unmute and clarify your question, Paula?
I was a little bit unclear. There's a new requirement where we need to, I thought we needed to provide more bank account information, such as we used to be able to put in a canceled check, but now do we need to set up a document that has our bank account number and all of the information in detail, or do we just fill out that address information? Is that all that's required?
So we're going to know, actually, we're going to request that you send in a voided check with that shows the grant accounts, a check. If you don't have a voided check for that account, then we need to see some proof that you have a separate grants account for your district grants. And we're going to talk more about that on the district side in a few minutes.
Okay, great. I think I'm just overthinking it because I usually, we do put in the canceled check now. And I was thinking there's something more that's required this year.
No, nothing new.
Okay, thanks.
Do we have any more questions?
The rest of them I will reserve when we move over to the district side and we talk more about our district
Okay.
policies.
Okay, just a couple things I'd like to add on. As usual, Lynn did her phenomenal job like she always does. But I'm certain that, it's great you guys are recording it, but we do have custom videos that we've created. So if you look to the left side, Lynn, if you could point over there, Grant 1 is really for the club. Grant 2 is for the district. So if you ever get caught on something, go ahead and go into that. If you need more help than that, Lenny, if you go up to support, you're always able to send us a support ticket. You also can send an email to support@DACdb.com. And then if that all else fails, you can always make a phone call. Now, yes, we list a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday kind of support system, but I can guarantee you, Lynn and I and the rest of the team, well, don't be shocked if you get an answer at, 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday night or something like that. We're always looking at this kind of stuff, but you're more than welcome to contact either Lynn or I. Lynn's email address is just lynn@dacdb.com. And mine is msoden, that's SODEN, @dacdb.com.
And Lynn's name is spelled L-I-N.
L-I,
That's
yes,
right.
please make sure it's L-I-N. Believe me, I've learned that a couple times. So other than that, I think I think that's it for us.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
I'm going to stop my share.